All the weeping lasted all night. I know that joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there has got to be another way. And I'm brighter day, so I march on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pure Live. We are here again on Friday night, as we do every week. Before we get into everything, I just wanted to go ahead and play this promo as we did last week. We had Elijah Jamal on the show before, so he has something to ask of you. So let's see what it is.
Hi. For those of you who don't know, my name is Elijah Jamal. I wrote a song with audio mode called Stand Up, and it addresses so much of what's going on in the world today and how important it is to stand up for what's right, which is why I'm asking you for your help. We're shooting a music video for the song, and we want to know what you stand up for. Send us a video of you holding up a sign showing what you're standing up for, and send it to be a part of the music video. All submissions should be submitted to standupvideo2020@gmail.com. The time is now to take a stand. Stand up today for tomorrow.
You gotta stand up. Stand up for something. Don't fall for anything.
Love it. I can never get enough. And just in case you guys are wondering why I look to the side, why I look to the left, I am doing this whole thing myself. So I'm paying attention to your comments. I'm looking at everything, anything you ask or say, I'm able to look at it and we will address it during this broadcast. So now we are going to bring in the ladies that are going to help me with this conversation. Initially, the flyer that I had did have someone else on the flyer. Joshua Jamal was actually my brother. He wasn't able to make it today, but we are still gonna get it cracking. So without further ado, let's bring the ladies in. Hi, Miss Candra Chavda, Adrienne Locke. I would like you two to introduce yourselves. Let's go ahead and start with Candra and tell everybody who you are, what you're about. What's up?
Well, hi everyone. My name is Candra Chavda. I am a mother. Let's start there. A mother of three, a wife of 22 years, and I was formerly the CEO of Breakthrough Academy, which was a modeling and acting industry to help young girls get basically knowing themselves and who they are. So I'm definitely glad to be here, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Hi, Miss Adrienne.
Well, hello.
Hey, honey, tell everybody who you are.
My name is Adrienne Locke. I am also known as the songstress from Chicago. I do a Phyllis Hyman tribute. I do jazz. I do R&B. I do top 40. I pretty much, if it can be sung, I'll sing it. I do a little Luther. I do a little Al Jarreau. I'm kind of eclectic. That's the name of my band, Eclectic. And I've been singing since I was about 4 years old. And I love music. And, Asia invited me to come on, and I was pleased and privileged to be able to enjoy, or to be able to join you guys tonight. And I'd never met the other young lady, Candy, right?
Candra.
Candra.
But I'm sweet like Candy, so you can call me Candy.
All right, Miss Candy. Okay. So, all right, here, look here, Brown Sugar. And you are Brown Sugar. Here's the thing. It's wonderful to be here tonight. It's a privilege. This is a topic that is very important, very critical, and I'm just looking forward to getting it cracking with you ladies. So let's get it cracking.
Absolutely. And I want to remind you guys of my sponsor, So you can see that I get. Let me see. Can you see? It's my new shirt, top shelf.
Oh, come on now.
Okay. I've worn some dresses. I got new pants and things, and this is the young lady that's been reaching out to me. This is their company.
Awesome. Oh,
This is
cool.
Posh Women's Apparel, classy,
Nice.
sophisticated, stylish.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Ooh,
what we're rocking
nice.
with,
All right.
honey. Better act like you know.
I know. That's
And if you
right.
want to
Oh yeah.
dress like me,
Yeah. That
you go
stage
to
ready too.
Yes.
poshwomen'sapparel.com. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
poshapparel.com. Act like you know something. Okay. Now that we got that out the way, dig into it. So today's topic is called the dangerous culture of body shaming. So why am I calling it dangerous? Here's the deal. There's so many things that both men and women have done to fit in or to measure up to society's standards of beautiful, and it has caused a lot of problems, chaos, death, health issues, from butt shots, which we know that there have been stars that have already admitted to this, like Nicki Minaj
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Cardi B, and other females that the young ladies are looking up to that have gone and done this, and other women were not they didn't have the money to go and fix the problems immediately, so they got sick. Some of these young ladies have died. Same thing with breast implants, birthed on them and had health problems with that. Um, in addition to that, some females and males feel like they just can't measure up. So they have either tried or have been successful with committing suicide. And this is something that I don't feel is getting better, it's getting worse, especially with the
Mm-hmm.
whole Instagram era. You
Yeah.
got all of these pictures that people don't recognize are being photoshopped in the first
Right.
place.
Sure.
And you got the little bitty waist and big old hips and the big old bubble butts and all this stuff going on. And these poor people are suffering because of it. My daughter
Yeah.
being one of them, because she thinks, as gorgeous as this little girl is, that she's not pretty enough or that her skin is not light enough. So I want us to dig into this topic and to talk more about it. It's my understanding, Candra, that you have background in helping people and dealing with image problems and encouraging people. So for somebody as young as my daughter, she's only 10 years old. What would you say to her in feeling the way she's feeling and saying, I'm not pretty enough. I need to fix it.
Well, I've noticed, first of all, it comes from our community.
Mm.
Usually, when you're in,
Emphasize our.
okay, our community meaning the Black community.
Okay.
Simple as that. Because when I was in the Black community, I heard, I felt, I dealt with all the insecurities because I was looking up to the women that I saw on TV, the Black women that had all the fakeness to them. Now I moved to an all white neighborhood, and now I'm praised at my beauty. Oh my goodness, your skin is so beautiful. What do you do? Oh my goodness, how do you look like that? Oh, your hair. It's like I'm a queen outside of my neighborhood. I'm appreciated for my differences outside of my neighborhood. But when I was in my neighborhood, I was too dark. You're too nappy. You're too skinny. You don't have a big butt like the girls in the video. I would talk to you, but you just a little too skinny. I like my women thick. But I have never heard that when I go to another culture or another type of environment that's not surrounded by my people. And that's what really makes me angry is our own people calling us ugly.
Yeah.
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 You know, I mean, I understand there's racism. There's racism. So I get that. But I hear it more so from my own kind of what I look like versus another culture. So it's really hard to inspire young little girls to look inside themselves when around them everyone's saying that you're too dark. Your hair's not long enough. It's nappy. You need a relaxer. Why are you wearing an afro? That's so ugly. Right. So it's so hard to help them when we're suffering. We're infected. There, let's use that term. We're infected in our community of how we talk, how we see ourselves, because of whatever happened in the past. I feel like we haven't let it go. Someone in the past called us ugly. So then they called a great grandmama ugly. Then they called a grandmama ugly. Then they called a mama ugly. Now they calling the babies ugly. It's a cycle that's not going to stop until we, for some way, just stand up and just tell these babies they are beautiful. Get off Instagram, get off YouTube. I am not on social media, so please don't ask me how to follow me, because I realized once I got on all of that stuff, that's when I realized that I was falling into it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I hear you. What is your experience with this topic, Adrienne?
I agree. It's an esteem problem, and it does start within our community. There has been a long history of colorism that goes way back. The paper bag test, where somebody holds you up against a brown paper bag, and if you're darker than the paper bag, then you too black. Oh yeah, really? Historically. Oh yeah. There was a paper bag test. If you were darker than a lunch bag, brown paper bag, you were too black, and you were treated differently. You were treated other, and and when you talked about your daughter at 10, it just brought something back in me where really it took me a minute to kind of grab myself up and say, you know what, we are not going to do the boo-hoo cry on here tonight. We're not doing that. But oh my God, I have sat where your daughter is sitting and felt like I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this, because people made me feel like being dark was something I didn't want to be. And my mom, she found my little suicide note, and she goes, oh, she says, so of all the different skills and talents that you have, I used to like to draw, I like to sing, I like to paint, I like to sew. So I had all these other little things I did. And she said, you mean to tell me you trade all of that? Very pretty bright kid, smart. She said, you trade all that in to be light skinned. I said, yep. I didn't even breathe. I was like, yup. In a heartbeat, because it was just so hard to have people in our own community telling me how dark was not the thing to be. I don't know if you've heard this old nugget, but if you tan, you can. If you brown, stick around. If you black, get back. And you go, oh boy. Oh, there's some doozies. So historically, it goes back. I'm older than both of you guys. And my mom's even older than me. And she's lighter than me, and she caught it. And I'm going, wow. So this is something that has been done and instilled in us for a very, very long time, to teach us to hate ourselves and to teach us to not have esteem and not see that there are things that we contribute, when there are so many major contributions, that African American history is American history. And you go, wow. So yeah, when you said that about your daughter, it just stirred something up in me that just said, wow, is that still going on? Really? I thought we was past that. No, we ain't past that. No, we ain't past that.
So here's a question that I've been hearing a lot in conversation, because of course we want to know, well, what's causing the self-hate? What's causing people to think, oh well, I don't measure up, I'm too ugly, or I can't, I gotta enhance this, to look the part. Is it the men? Is it the women? Is it both? Is it videos? Is it the Instagram pictures. What exactly is contributing to people saying I'm not good enough? What do you think is happening? And as you said, you said you're older than the two of us. Well, all three of us are in different age groups.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, in all of our age groups, has it gotten worse? Has it gotten better? Are we still in the same spot? What do you think is going on, Candra?
I think we're still stuck. And I'm going to speak on being a school teacher. So I'm in a predominantly white school. I have a sprinkle of black students, sprinkle of Hispanics. And last year I was getting my master's, and I took a group of girls, group of, I believe they were like fourth through sixth grade. And we just met every day for about an hour during lunchtime to talk about us. And I really wanted to ask them, like, how do you feel like being in this environment with all of these different people and you don't have yourself to talk to, like somebody that looks like you? And they were like, Miss C, I am so glad that you're able to do this, because I'm tired of speaking white. I'm tired of being something that I'm not. I do want to be around my people. I'm tired of explaining myself to them why my hair looks a certain way. So I felt like I had a different experience, because when I moved out here, everybody was so like, oh my goodness, they're asking, I guess because I was an adult. But I never thought about the kids' perspective, being a black kid in an all-white school, the questions that they have to answer, and they don't have the answer to. So I feel like these young girls were saying they wish that they looked better. They wish that they were lighter. They wish their hair was long. Oh, I wish I looked like you. No, but I wish I looked like you. Your mama mix? What you mix with? Why your hair long? And now it was this, Missy, is that your hair? I'm like, we ain't talking about me. Okay, we ain't talking about, don't be good. We ain't talking about me.
Man, you business now. Okay.
I got kind of offended because they were like trying to, like, don't be asking why my hair curly. Right. No. It kind of caught me off guard, because that's the first thing we do in the black community. Girl, that's your hair. That's, oh, girl, that's your hair. Like black people can't have long hair. And if a black person has long hair, oh my goodness, it's what you mix with.
Right.
Your mama white, your daddy
where'd
white.
you buy it?
Where you, right. So it's not ours, it's somebody else's that we bought it from. So I noticed those little girls they're trying to find the answer. They're really trying to find the answer, because they want to love themselves, but it's different locations that they're trying to find it. And when you're trying to find these locations, they're not as authentic as they should be.
Right. Well, you mentioned all three. It's within our community. It's without our community. It's the media. There are so many different sources. Yes. Okay, when you have a culture where it's being appropriated in various places and spaces, there are parts of you that are desirable that certain parts of the culture want, and then there are other parts that they don't want. Okay, and so the parts that are desirable are the parts that are going to be played up. I'm sorry, I never heard of Paris lips before until larger lips became in vogue. When people started getting the injection in the lips. The thing about big booties. Jennifer Lopez, big booty, big booty. You can go and you can throw a stone in any direction and find a big booty in the African American community. Whereas before, it was like, oh, well, everybody wanted to be flat. They wanted to be like ironing boards. Nobody wanted these things. But suddenly, when the culture became the kind of thing where it was up for appropriation, and certain parts became desirable and other parts not, then I think there was a shift. And the idea that even just as a young person, males or females, you want to be accepted. You do want to be popular. You want to be attractive. You want to be, in that in crowd, in that group where everybody want to roll with you. Everybody want to rock with you. And it comes down to the thing where after a while, it's like, well, Okay, you don't get to pick and choose. Like I don't get to pick and choose. If you go to an interview, an audition, you don't get to say, well, okay, and when you come in, they already know who you are and what you are. You don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to do
Right.
that. You know, but the thing is, there are options for other people who get to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And it just blows me away. So yeah, culturally, you see it. And then you see it in because everything is so visual now. You know, after everything moved to visual, after video footage came in, after videos came into vogue, everything was about the look. You know, didn't back in the day when the Temptations and Diana Ross was this big, but nobody cared because it was Diana Ross. You know,
Right.
but Aretha could sing, but she's fat. Oh, but she can sing circles. That's not the point. She doesn't look a certain way.
Exactly.
Well, music videos and the visuals and all of that changed all of that. You know, so
Yeah.
when you look at all of it collectively, and you know, as you say, well, people say, well, you got to be mixed with something because there's no way that's your hair. I paid for it. It's mine. If I can buy a wig, then I ought to be able to. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yes. Yes.
So okay, I paid for it. It's mine.
Yes.
Now, how it's attached to my head is none of your business. But I paid for it. You know, the idea of appropriation, cultural appropriation, visuals, people trying to measure up and stack up. And it's very frightening and it's very dangerous that somebody wants so badly. They want so badly to be attractive. They want so badly to be popular that they will let somebody inject them with something that you put into a cornerstone. That you would let somebody inject you with cooking oil.
Right?
Right.
Like what? Oh my gosh, I've heard so many different things that they were injected with because they didn't have the money. They didn't have the money like the celebrities, so they were
No,
going to see bootleg
no.
people. They were like, "I'm gonna give you these shots for a discount,
Oh
and
yeah.
don't worry about it. I got you." Well, where are they at when your stuff starts deteriorating? You go into the hospital, you're in constant pain. Now
The
you can't.
Sacrete. That was the one that did me. The Sacrete. You gonna let somebody inject you with Sacrete, with concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, your booty gonna be hard, but not for the reasons that you want it to be. It's gonna be nice and firm. It just won't be firm in the way that you
No,
want it to be
Right.
firm.
Exactly.
not in a healthy way.
No,
No. And
no,
and you know
no.
what? I'm gonna get real personal. Here's the deal. I and this gets me sometimes. People will look at me and they'll be like, "Oh, I know you ain't never been through nothing. You just look like everything's been given to you. You cute. You probably spoiled. You whatever. Blah blah blah." First of all, y'all don't know my life. Okay, I was I was one of those little girls that hated the way that I looked. Hated the way that I looked. Everybody doesn't see everything. Thankfully I got somebody that's loving on me. I'm happily married. Praise be to God.
Amen. Amen. Look at him. Uh-huh.
I went through a whole lot of hell before I got here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Now the light's kind of shaking, but I got hair on my arms and I got all this different imperfections. And when I was younger, there was this boy on the bus, and this boy taunted me every single day that I got on the bus. He called me a silverback gorilla every single day. You can't sit over here with us, you silverback gorilla. Why you got all that hair on your body? Where you get all that hair from? You're not even human. Stuff like that. And I was just like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to
Mm-mm.
him.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Right.
and one day it just got too much for me. I came home, I cried to my mom.
Sure.
I was like, baby, first of all, they're just jealous because they don't know how to accept all of the beauty that you have.
Right.
We have a unique beauty that other people are trying to get,
That's it.
eventually, and you already got it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. At first, I'm like, yeah, that's what moms are supposed to say. But
Yeah.
you know,
That's yeah.
eventually I started to pay attention.
Yeah.
I I may be the youngest one in the bunch, but I noticed the whole way through as I grew older, I noticed people were pretty much frying their skins to get darker.
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, they're getting
Bleaching.
the
Yeah.
they're getting the braids,
Mhm.
Yeah.
trying to be a part of our culture.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Butt injections or
Yeah.
the infomercials. They got those wraparound things that's supposed to lift your butt and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're doing all these things to try to be the the very
Right.
thing that we were ashamed to be.
Right.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
Sure.
and
Sure.
if I didn't have the love and support that I have in my family, I might not even be here because I tried to end my life more than once.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I don't think people understand the the message you're putting out there. Yeah, that's cool. You like to be popular on Instagram and you want to show your body and everything.
Mhm.
But think about how you're affecting everybody else.
Right.
And
Right.
then
Right.
I want to talk about something that Steph Curry's wife. I don't know if you guys know about her or not. She had some image issues, and she was like, I see all these women that are just throwing themselves at my husband and nobody's looking my way, and like I don't exist. And people shamed her and things like that because they're like, why do you care what other people think? You're married, you got them already, whatever. But they were misunderstanding what was actually going on with her. She was
Yeah.
insecure about herself. She was
Yes.
happy with herself.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happens? So she goes, she loses weight, she's working out, she's looking good. She posts some pictures of herself in a bikini.
Mm-hmm.
Now what they have to say? Why you showing all that flesh? Why you showing your body? Who you think you
Right.
are? You ain't
Right.
supposed to do that. It's
Right.
like she can't win. What do you want her to
Right.
No.
do?
No.
You
No.
know?
Right.
What do you want her to do?
But
I
I,
don't.
I but I think the problem with that is we are always looking for validation from
Yeah.
other people.
Right.
And because we're
Right.
looking for, especially women, we
Mm-hmm.
and I know men too sometimes, but women,
Yeah.
we want to feel love. We want to feel sexy.
Sure we do.
We want to feel beautiful. And if you don't tell me that every day, then apparently I'm not.
Right.
So if
Right.
I don't hear it from your mouth every day that I'm beautiful and I'm the goddess that you love, then what's wrong with me because you didn't say it today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
that insecurity part is
Sure.
so embedded,
It is.
and that's really, I'm not trying to go to church, but that's really the lack of knowing who you are and who you come from.
Yeah.
We are not able to know that we are part of God and we are in His image,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and because we are so far away from Him that
Right.
we don't know who we are. So if we're so far away from Jesus, then who child do we belong to? We belong to
Right.
the world. And the
Right.
world is Satan, and Satan is telling us you ugly. Nobody
Yeah.
wants you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Right.
flat butt, flat chested, nappy head child. No one wants you. But when you are in the comfort of Jesus and you stay in that presence, when you hear that garbage, you don't allow it to penetrate through you because you understand who you belong to.
Right.
And you hear all these women out there who are big or dark skinned or whatever, and they know who they are, and you wondering like, wait a minute, I know she ain't on this beach wearing that, and
Right.
she just walking proud. And she
Okay.
just, no, well, she knows she got it going on, and I'm thinking in shape, and I don't even dare put on the swimsuit because I'm like self conscious. But I'm
Right.
wondering, like, why is she so full of herself? Because you
Mm-hmm.
don't know where she's getting it from. She
Right.
Right.
might be getting it from the
Right.
Holy Spirit, and she's just like, God,
Right.
you made me,
Right.
and I am
Mm-hmm.
not going to change for anybody. And if they don't like it, talk to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing wrong with a little church. Nothing wrong with a little church now. And it certainly helps to have more than one of the components in place. So you got your people on the one side that are helping you build that esteem, and you're feeling secure within yourself, and you have that good Christian, a solid foundation.
Mhm.
then you can, that third part can kind of be just filled up with everything else that you bring to it. Because yeah, it's more than just, well, what you look like. You got some women, they gorgeous, they're absolutely beautiful, and they don't have a brain in the head.
Crazy as a nut.
Crazy as a crab cake, you know, sitting outside your house with ninja paint on, and well, I want him back. Baby, have him. It's not that serious.
Exactly.
I want to live. I want to live. Come get your crazy heifer. Yeah. Okay, so you want all those components in place, though.
Yes.
You know, so it was a blessing to have people in your life who would say to you, no, don't listen to that. That's crazy. That's foolishness. You know, because there's some people, their insecurities are the things that make them jab at other people. And they figure if they can bring you down a peg, that'll keep people from looking at they too big ears. Or that'll keep people from thinking about the fact that they have to put they have to put cardboard in the bottom of their shoes. Maybe you won't be looking at what they looking like or what they've got going on or what's wrong with them if they can put that attention off on somebody else. So, okay, you got that component. And then, as you say, spiritually, you want to make sure that you are in a place where you understand in whose image you are made. You know, truly, when we see who we really are and what we have within us and the kinds of things that we can accomplish, nah, you aren't gonna think about what somebody think about what you look like in your thong, because can't nobody tell you what you look like in your thong. So, well, baby, my man liked it. So what the problem is? Okay, then you need to get back on your blanket and mind your own business, okay? Because this ain't got nothing to do with you, you know? And so it's a process, and they're just, when you go, okay, but you got to have those components in place. And where those components are not in place, that's where, if you weak or if you reach a spot where nobody can come and get you or kind of pull you back from the brink. And I think that's when people just kind of, they cross that line and they go, okay. And they hearing those other voices telling them, nah, you ain't really got no reason to be here. You have nothing to contribute. There's nothing beautiful in that mirror. You know, when I look in the mirror, I like to look and see. I look for my grandmother. I look for my great grandmother. I look for people who I know picked cotton and people who worked in that sun and did backbreaking things and things they just didn't want to necessarily do to get me where I needed to go. I know I'm standing on shoulders. So I don't get a right or opportunity to back up and say, oh, I'm just going to give up. Life's too hard. Okay, look here, Cicely Tyson, pull yourself together. These people did actual work. These people took beat downs. These people kissed the behinds of people. They wouldn't even kiss their faces to make sure you could go to school and do certain things and get to a certain point. So now you don't get to throw up your hands and do that. And it's almost like we almost need to go a little bit backwards to go forward and bring each other up again and start reaching one another and pulling up like we're doing right here in this conversation, where we say to one another, look, if you've got a daughter, a son, an individual who needs that encouragement, needs that support. So yeah, more Black men. I love it when I see Black men standing up and mentoring and teaching and showing one another what we can be. I love it when I see an all-female pilot crew where I go, man, these sisters got beauty, booty, and brains. They're flying planes. It's a whole crew of them. And you can go, and they look like me. They got to go and sit and get the tiger stripes on their neck just like I do. Or they have. They've had this experience. And so we can give that to one another, and we can give it to our daughters and our nieces. And you ain't even got to have your own kids. Not a creepy way, but in a way where you're reaching and you're saying, look, this is what you can be. This is what it can look like. This is what it is. And you can learn to love all the parts of yourself, all of them. Even the parts you don't like
Yeah.
some days you like other parts better than others.
Yeah.
There are some days, okay, yeah, I wish I weighed more. Some days I wish I weighed less.
Mm-hmm.
But we can reach out to one another and raise our children up and reach back to our communities and raise the other ones up as well, because they're us too.
Yes.
They're us too. They're us. George Floyd is us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Absolutely.
Brother Jacob Blake is us.
Yeah.
They could be any one of our sons, our brothers, our husbands, our uncles, our cousins. Every time my son leaves the house, I just kind of go until he gets back, you know. And it's like I'm not trying to be in your business when I say, well, call me when you get where you're going. I used to think, oh, well, they in my business. They trying to find out where I'm going. Hey, it's not you that they don't trust. It's not so much it's something they think you're going to do. They know what's out here. They know who's out here.
Yeah.
They know who's waiting for you. They know who's waiting.
Right. Let's bring it back a little bit, and I want to talk about responsibility. And the reason I want to get on this is one thing I can notice right off the bat. We don't just have 3 different generations here. We got 3 different colors here. So, you know, I'm a straight light bright over here. You know, I don't even know what's called you. Brown sugar is what she called you. And then we got
We need some t-shirts made.
Okay, all shades, all hues. That's us.
So you know, we have all these different shades, and one of the things that I noticed is, hey Doris. Doris is the one that runs the Posh Women's Apparel.
Okay.
Shirt that I wear.
Oh yes, the top shelf. All right.
Love you, honey. So, one of the things that I noticed, and like you had mentioned earlier, Candra, that it starts in our own community. I have seen this thing with the lights versus darks kind of situation. You know, light girls. This is what I always hear, which gets on my nerves because I'm not this kind of person. But they say light girls always think they all that. They think they the best. They think they this and da. You know. And I'm like, I just thought I was black and you black and we black. You know, that's what I thought. But you know, and then you have shaming people because you too dark. Why you that dark? You burnt. I can't even see you when I turn the lights out. You know, that kind of stupid stuff. You know, and I don't know how they make people feel. So it's like, this is what's going on in the community. Where did it come from? Why are we doing that to each other? That doesn't make sense to me. You know, like we're black. We all have problems when we're dealing with other races. Why we gotta shame each other on the shade of black that we are? What's really going on? So what do you think our responsibility, Candra?
Do you remember the movie School Days?
Oh,
the wannabes and the jigaboos.
Yeah, boy.
We've been talking about this forever, and I don't think it's going to stop.
No.
Our responsibility is to continue to have educated conversations to say, stop. You dark, stop. You too light, stop.
Yeah.
Why she said stop. Just stop people in their tracks. Like, okay, it might be a little rude, but you need to just stop the ignorance when people are doing that. Simple as that. So we're not going to talk like that. I don't like being around ignorant people. Goodbye. Now, I know you have to stop them, but you also have to educate. And when you try to educate somebody, you have to know what you're talking about.
Right.
And when you got to educate the person, you can't be in your feelings.
Right.
Because when you're in your feelings, then that's not a teachable moment.
I know it's not.
Because I'm like all up in this and I'm trying to, like, you telling me, and all of a sudden you're like, hold on, let me get myself together. When it's a teachable moment, it's almost like a parent. When a parent is trying to teach you something, because I did something wrong, you don't come out blazing with the belt.
No.
You don't come out blazing, yelling and screaming.
Right.
When it's a teachable moment, I have to collect myself, get myself together, And then I have to sit on the bed beside you to tell you why you were wrong, why I should have whipped your butt, but I didn't situation. And that's when the kids really learn the most, when you're talking to them, not screaming and yelling, because we think like, because our parents did that back in the days, it helps. And it really doesn't.
No.
It kind of instills fear, but it doesn't teach. Like, okay, don't do that around mama, don't do that around daddy, but I'm gonna do it when they're not around. But when you teach somebody and you educate them, then if mom or daddy's not around, you still gonna do what's right because you're educated.
Sure.
So if I'm getting in the situation of you're talking about a black person, too dark, too light, well, why do you think that? Why do you think you're calling that person and saying they're too dark? Well, why do you think that white, light-skinned person has privilege? Explain that to me. Let's have a conversation about it. How can we change our mindset and grow from this?
Right.
You know, we have to have those educated conversations, but sometimes you got to give it back to the person who dealing with it. Why did you say that? Why? What would make you say that? Where is that coming from? You see, because you don't know what they're dealing with either. So before we start jumping and trying to educate, we still have to know what's on their page before we can start dealing with how to handle the situation.
Right.
That's a good point. Some people may be coming from a place of hurt.
That's true. That's true. From the dark skin side, I guess, of the room. Here, I was very good friends with Bernie Mac for many years. We kind of came up in the Cotton Club together. And Bernie, I used to have very pointed conversations about being the darker people in the room. And he used to tell me about how hurtful that was to have people calling him out of his name. Fortunately for him, he had a talent and a gift where he could turn it into comedic gold and move past it. You could tell, though, that the comedy sprung from a place of a hurt, from where people are saying something about you where you have to take it and flip it so you can handle it, so you can be strong with it, so you can deal with it. And then I've had light-skinned friends who I've had to learn. I had to be educated when I was away at school. One of my best friends in college, my roommate, she was very, very light-skinned. And when she told me about how people would put gum in her hair, cut her hair, tell her how cute she thought she was, and how that upset her. And my mouth hit the floor because I'm thinking, oh, wow, there's no way she's going through that because, because you just don't think of it from where I'm sitting. This is what I live with, but this is something she's dealing with and she's on the other end of the spectrum. So don't sit there and think, well, oh, it's just me. People just do it to dark skin people. No, they do it to everyone. They do it to people. And the thing is, she didn't think anything like that. It was what other people were superimposing and putting on her. And as you say, that pain, or why people acting out in that way. What has happened to you that you're doing that you're projecting in that way?
Right.
And so to see it from both sides of it and go, oh, it was educational for me.
Yeah.
And really, and I learned something from it's like, no, you don't judge. Now people go on and on, all light-skinned brothers are coming back. Oh, he. Yeah, okay. Well, guess what? Light-skinned brothers ain't never went nowhere.
They right.
They black too. Black is a condition. It's a condition. It's so to get caught up in grades and shades, what does the KKK or the Nazis or the skinheads say that you are when they pull you over in your car?
Exactly.
That's what you is.
Right.
So don't get into this mindset of, oh, well, no. And so it's hurtful all the way around. It's hurtful.
Yeah. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. And I think that's what people seem to forget. It's like, when it boils down to it, you're black.
Yeah.
No one is thinking about how light you are. No one's thinking about
No.
your is.
No.
No one's thinking about your shape or how big your butt is when you're getting pulled over or when you're being harassed. You're black. Yep. Period. So, the better thing for us to do is to encourage each other and love on each other and
Exactly.
educate each other so
Exactly.
we can be stronger and not have, us hurting each other and hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I found out, so I'm originally from Chicago, but I've lived in Virginia, I lived in Colorado, but Chicago was home. I'm now in Indiana, right? So we moved here. I'm thinking, this is going to be better for the kids. Got to get out of that craziness in Chicago. This is better. It's quiet and everything. So after about a month of the kids going to their new schools, I asked my oldest Christian, I said, Christian, how is school? What do you think of the students there? It's like, they're okay, but the girls really have issues. I said, well, what do you mean they have issues? He said they like cut themselves. They're always talking about suicide. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're always talking about what do you mean? Like, are people talking to them or are they helping them? He's like, no, not really. It's a common thing. I'm like, what do you mean? It was
That's a common
alarming to me.
thing.
What do you mean it's a common thing? And then the very next, I think, 2 weeks after I had a conversation with him, a little girl had actually tried to kill herself. And so I'm like, what? What is happening? This is happening in your school. Is somebody talking to the family? What is her household like? Did someone sit her down? Did somebody get her therapy? What is happening? These little
Right.
kids
Yeah.
are going that far, cutting themselves and trying to kill themselves and die. So I asked him, I don't know if you guys were the same way that I was, but I always had the male friends that I was comfortable with telling everything. I always
Yeah.
had at least one. So
Oh,
Christian seems
definitely.
to be, he seems to be the one that the girls feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need to change my personality or something because they tell me too much. And I said, I know what you mean. They tell you too much. I want to hear about all their problems. But I was like, well, but I wanted to know because my kids are around this. I want to understand what's going on. So they tell me, what are they so upset about? Why are they cutting themselves? He says, well, so and so told them that they weren't pretty. And then this got around this person. And so he can be cool with this girl. He told her too. And then a group of them were like, you're ugly, you're poor, you're nothing. And it got to the point where it just pushed her to the point of wanting to die.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And that's why there's bullying laws out now that is an actual criminal offense. Cyberbullying and things like that. It's a criminal offense now because there's been enough cases where people can make that correlation and say this specific led this person to end their life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm wondering, why isn't it important enough for the schools or for more people, I don't know, the media or whatever, to address it more often and help people understand that what you're doing in comparing and measuring people to other standards, that you are tearing them completely down to the point of wanting to die in their lives. Why do you think people are kind of going over that and ignoring it?
I'm
gonna
speak on glorifying suicide. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about glorifying suicide. 13 Reasons Why. Okay, there's a show out.
I saw that.
That's called 13 Reasons Why. And we are glorifying a girl killing herself.
Sure.
And now everybody's watching this, and kids are going back to school. It's like, did you see that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what would happen if I do it.
Yeah.
Who would come up and what type of friends would I have, or what would they say about me? Sometimes things are just glorified and kids are just bored.
Sure.
I just want to see what's going to happen. It's almost like, I want to know what they're going to say at my funeral.
Right,
Like,
sure,
oh, if
sure.
I just die, I really want to know what people will say. So you'll play that TV role and you go in with the little old lady walking in. You're like, oh, she was such a good person. And you're looking around seeing who came to your funeral, how they play that on television.
Right.
Well, they're doing it now in a different way for teenagers.
Yeah.
Younger generations. So instead of us playing this funny, I'm at a funeral, let's cut ourselves. Let's commit suicide. He doesn't like me. Because in all, I want attention. So whether it's positive or negative, I'm going to get it. So mommy's not paying attention to me. Daddy's not paying attention to me. But if I say I'm going to kill myself, then you're paying attention. So let me just leave a note. Let me just cut myself. Let me tell my friend I don't love myself. I want to kill myself.
Right.
This world is so screwed up. These kids have no sense of guidance because mama 23, grandmama 33, and the kid 13.
Yeah, that's
so we don't have grandmama that's the 50, 60, 70-year-old teaching anymore. We got grandmama like, girl, I was in a club last week. Wait a minute, you the mama? No, I'm the grandmama.
Girl, grandma's puff fast. You better stop playing.
Grandmamas are out there doing what the young mamas doing because our generation is not our generation anymore. The mothers at my school come in. I'm like, oh, sweetie, you bought your sister? Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you about your sister. That's my grandmama. That's my mama. I said, no, all due respect. Do you mind me asking how old you are? Miss C, I'm the grandmama. I'm 38. So if you're 38, then how old is the mother? That's the generation that my school has. And my school is middle class where I teach. So imagine all the schools who are below in that demographic, in that social economic standard of low income. Mama's got to work. I got jobs. I have 1 and 2 and 3 jobs. I don't have time to sit at home and monitor what you are doing.
No.
I don't have time to talk to you about your social emotional feelings. I got to put food on the table. So I don't care that you're sad. I don't care that you have low self-esteem. I don't care that you're ugly. Do you want to eat? So now they have developed a curriculum in our schools. Instead of saying, we're going to work on math, science, reading, they added the SEL. That's the social emotional learning curriculum.
Wow.
Because they said that, how can we teach these kids how to read and write when they want to kill themselves?
Yeah.
How can we teach them mathematics when they're at home hungry and they don't have anybody to talk to and they're coming from trauma homes? And we're like, sit in front of the classroom. Let me teach you. Let me teach you. But they was trying to kill themselves last night.
Right.
So now they're trying to change this curriculum and saying, well, social emotional is almost more important than reading and writing, because if the kids are not emotionally stable, how can we teach them?
Right. Right. Can't focus.
Can't focus. Because I'm thinking about when I get home, I know what's waiting for me. I got a daddy at home that's an alcoholic that's going to beat me when I come home. So I can't focus on the teacher right now. I got to worry about how I'm going to survive when I get home.
Right. Well, if grandma is sexting and she puff passing, then how can you raise and properly teach somebody to do anything? And if you haven't lived and done anything or been anywhere other than the 4 corners of your block or your trailer park, then how are you going to teach and educate and uplift when you haven't? And then again, there's that resentment factor. Well, I didn't get to do any of those fun things. Why should you?
Right.
Why should you? And so it's a little hard to raise children when you still basically a child on the cusp yourself, and you haven't really had a chance to live a life and learn some things. You got to learn some things in order to teach them. And you can't do that if you stuck in that same 2-block radius for your entire life. And you know for yourself, Asia, you lived here in Chicago. There are people who have never even been to the Museum of Science and Industry. They've never been
Mm-hmm.
downtown. And so you go,
Right.
wait a minute, you live in
Tenderized.
a right. You live in a pretty much world-class city, home of the
Mm-hmm.
Bean, Millennium Park, this, that, and the other, and you never been to the symphony? Oh, okay. You've never been here.
Wow.
So when you are
Yeah.
competing and still enjoying your own youth because you cut yourself off early, you can't teach what you don't know.
Yeah.
And as you say, if you come home and you hungry, nah, you ain't thinking about no homework, no algebra. You trying to keep from getting hit with an ironing
Right.
cord. You trying to grab you a quick thing of ramen noodles and just get the heck out the way.
Right. And
So
that's
no,
where
you
it comes from. When you are trying to survive, your
right,
self-esteem is attacked
sure, sure,
because no
sure,
one
Yeah.
loves
sure.
me. No one
Right,
cares for me.
right,
So the first guy that comes and says I'm pretty,
Right.
I'm there. I'm all
Right.
for it. And then that's when the abuse comes because he knows he
yeah,
got me. He knows he can take advantage. And I'm going to live off of
Mm-hmm.
his every word. So now I'm abused. And now the cycle continues because now once he finished using me, he leaves me. And then I wait for the next man or boy to tell me
right,
something. And
sure,
now all of a
sure,
sudden, I don't know how to survive because no one wants me. And now I have
right,
to learn how to deal with that.
right.
And that's where we are in
Woo.
this world with a lot of things. It's like a melting pot of
Yeah.
insecurities.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got all but 4 minutes left, and we got like a whole nother show worth of
All right,
topic
girl.
here.
Ooh, part two.
And we may need to do a part two.
Yeah,
Um, if y'all down.
I'm good
You
with it.
know,
Yeah.
so
She
let's
said
do some
no.
takeaways.
Yes, yes, yes. This is good stuff. This is
Hey,
important.
well, let's do some takeaways because what I like to do on the show is to give some solutions.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
first of all, we got okay. Now we have 3 minutes left. Whatever. So some takeaways. Period. So one of the things that we recognize is that we need to support each other a lot more and love on each other a lot more because we don't know what they're already dealing with. First of all, we don't know that the little comments or the comparisons. We don't know how that's tearing people down. So we need to hold ourselves responsible for the
Yes.
things that are going on in our own community. Period.
Right.
You can't leave it on just them. You can't leave it on just the home. You recognize, okay, you know what? This person is struggling. This person, I found out that little Susie over there was cutting her wrist. I found out
Right.
that
Sure.
Sean over there tried to kill us. You need to take. We all need to take responsibility. To impart some positivity into as many people as possible, because this
Hmm.
is this is a real thing. It's not really being talked about that much right now because of all the other craziness that's going on in the world. Which is why I wanted to deal with it. You know, the other thing is, and you guys that are suffering from depression, probably hear this all the time. That suicide is not the answer, but please understand, somebody that struggled with depression, myself, is not the answer. Other ways to handle it. I have counseling. I deal with counseling myself. I got therapy.
Me
I do
too.
have a great support system. It's helpful. But I'm gonna put this number up here. There's a suicide hotline that you can call. And people get embarrassed and they don't want to call these things, but this stuff is completely confidential. You can call this number. They will talk to you, will help you, they will provide resources for you if you are struggling with this with yourself. Please, let this be the first step as opposed
Mhm.
to you cutting yourself or you trying to end your life. Try this first. If you have somebody in your life that's supportive, try them first. Anything but say I can't do anymore.
Mhm.
So that's the takeaway I'm in this show with right now. But we might do a part two. So, we may hear a little more later on from these ladies. Um, So, anybody that's watching this show on YouTube, please subscribe. Subscribe. I did a little experiment today. Nothing like actually this week. I did some advertisement to see who was going to actually post on Instagram and Facebook. I got so many likes. My reach reached past, it was thousands of people. But did not half of them subscribe. I was like, y'all didn't read. I'm glad you think I'm cute, but read the post. For those of you that have seen this on YouTube, please subscribe. You watching it on Facebook, follow me, and you'll be able to see all the shows and things that I have coming up. I love you guys. So remember to embrace and appreciate the perfect design of you that God has created in you. Mm-hmm. So we'll leave it for today. You guys have any last words you want to say?
Nope, I just ditto everything you just said. Oh, remember who you are.
I agree. 100.
Part 2 be more about solutions. Sure. And I invite you to come back and listen to the part 2. Thank you. You said great job, ladies.
Thank you so
come
much.
Back and listen to part 2. Be a part of the conversation. You guys that are listening, that's what we have the comment section for. Ask your questions. I'm posting them. I'm going to let everybody see them, and we will respond to you. Help us out with the conversation. All right, y'all. Have a good evening. I love you.
Right,
see you next week.
Peace. God bless. Everybody stay safe. Candra.
All right.
Asia. God bless.
See you later. Bye. See you later.
Praying over you, ladies. Be safe. Okay.
Thank you.